Welcome back to yet another session of our sales process tracker series. And today we are going to be doing a cumulative summary of each of the events in our CAM, our salesperson's worksheet. And the goal is actually to show senior management numbers, just a summarized version of what's happening individually. So they don't really necessarily need to go to each of the sales team worksheet to start, oh, how many is this, how many is that. You could just see this at one glance. So the first thing we're actually going to do is to do a count of our clients. So in order for us to do that, we'll do equal to count A. So count A will give us count number of cells that are occupied. So you choose an array and enter. So it's giving me 0, right? I don't really want 0. If there's nothing there, just give me nothing. I can say if, I'm just going to copy this. If this equals 0, then empty. Else, if it's not, then just do a count. So the next thing is to do a count of how many of this client is uniquely found in only quantity lead identification and for the rest of the sales process. And I actually thought about it, and what I came to conclusion is what came to my conclusion is I thought about different ways to do this. And so if you have, say for instance, there's a client here is in client engagement, it means he's in 30%, and you just is in 30%, you just count this client as one under client engagement. If the person is just here, or just here under lead identification, it means under lead identification here is just one. I really thought about it, and I came to conclusion that rather than having to do some complex formula, I would rather count it from this place here. So I'm going to do a count if of this array, and now start giving, oh, if it is 20% is in lead identification, if it is 30% is in client engagement, is in 40%, like that. So what I'm now going to do is to go to my summary. For lead identification, I can say a count equal to count if. Select this array and say my criteria, so the range and criteria. So my criteria would be 0.2. So I think I'll just log it to just be, for here it's just 0.2, 20%. So I have one. I'm going to click and drag. So for client engagement is 30%. Proposal submission is 30%. Submission of initial quote is 40. What's it count if? What am I counting? This is interesting. Okay. Okay. Accept. Okay, so this is 20, 30, 40, 50, 80. Sorry. 20, 30, 40. Okay, I skipped one. 40, 50, 80, 90, then that will be 9, and this will be 1. So you can see it's giving me 0, 0, 0. I really don't like this. So what I can then do is I'll do an if, so that it just give me blank. The 0 when it's too much is just a waste of um, it's just a waste of concentration. It's really a very serious waste of concentration. So I'd rather just, not do that. So just copy. And there's another way you can automate it, really. The other way I can automate it is just to make a reference to this guy here. Now that I think about it, I'll just make a reference to this guy here and just click and drag. So I could do this if once. I don't want it to change, but I want this guy to change. I'll say give. So I'm going to make a reference to this here. And now, since I'm going to drag across, I'm going to lock only the column and leave the row. So something like this. And so when I click and just drag, it's going to give me the same thing. So after all, here was 0. And then if you now do like a total, let's say total clients that are not, let me just say total. I'll do alt equal to enter. Now there's another problem, right? You can see that there is a done, but there are no clients here. That is a very serious problem. So how do I tell, this particular count if not to count if there are no clients here? I thought about different ways, but I came to a conclusion that this particular formula that I did before, what I can now do is to make it a dependent on this client, this client cell, this client column, sorry. So I can just say X and say if this person, because I'm going to click and drag, is equal to empty space, then maybe I'll say 0%, then nothing, either one. Else I'll now paste my formula. So it's not showing me anything now because I'm going to paste this and enter. Now it's not showing me anything, and that's because there's no client there. And the important thing, the good thing is if I enter a client, you can see it's giving me 30%. And the good thing is, so I'm going to click and drag. Why is it saying not started? Be good. I'm just going to click and drag so it doesn't show anything. And control enter. So it doesn't show anything because there's no client. But when I say, so what it means is that my summary, there will be nothing there, and this guy will be 0. Now, but when I start putting, XXX, for instance, you can see it's already here is in 30%, but when I go here, 1, 1, so something like that. So I think I'll just format this middle. So that's the idea. That's what I was just thinking. Then the other way to, there's also something. What if you have a client, for instance, let's say um, ZZZ XXX. Oh no, let me say XYZ. So if you have a client and you've not started anything, it will just show you not started here. I also thought about a way that so you have 4 clients. If you go to the summary, you have 4 clients, but you only have 3 that you are tracking. How then do you track? It's showing you a total of 3. The ones that you have as a client, and but you've not started anything. I just say, okay, let's do not started. So not started. So if you haven't started, so what I was just going to do, we are just going to minus uh, this guy from this. Now, the reason why you might say, oh, it's just 1. If you look at 4 and 3, it's just 1, is because the numbers are not much. If it's much, you are going to definitely have a problem. So let's just say I have, and I'm just going to copy at random and just click drag, let's say to 38. Now I have 38 clients, 38, this number is looking small, but by the time I start, let me just click drag here. I will just take this one, maybe here, these 2, maybe here, this one to just this place. This guy goes all the way to, here, and I click drag here, and I'm going to skip 1, or skip like 5 or 6, delete this person, click here, like drag to this place, here, just click drag. We're just trying to populate the sheet now with a lot of information. I can see they are just there, they are everywhere, and sometimes it's a bit confusing for you to start saying, oh yeah, I want to start looking how many. You start counting. So this will just give you a rough idea. Okay, you have total clients 38. Look at how many has been engaged, at least, that have gone through quality lead. So at least that have gone to quality lead identification is 32. What is left is that has not started, even though you have identified the client as a lead but not a quality lead. A quality lead is a lead that that will lead to further conversation. If you've not identified it, you are still trying to do your market, your client research and stuff like that. Who is this person? What do you think will appeal to this client? Stuff like that. So, but you have it as a potential lead or a client. So they call them potential lead, something like that. So now you have a lot of information, and how do you track that as well? So if the numbers are far much more than this, you want it to be eye-catching. You want everything to be eye-catching. I can say total engaged. Let me see, will be total engaged. Again, you can use any word for it. You don't have to use mine. Total engaged, not started. So total clients. So in order for you to validate this number of clients, all you just need to do is just to click and drag, and you can see 38 here. And you can also do a summary of count A. There's a count A, and and you are good. And what can we do here? Maybe just for, we do like a count if. You're counting if, again, just to do summary, right? So you are counting this everything on quality lead if it is done. And because I'm going to click and drag, I will just lock my row and leave my column. Yeah, so I've entered too many arguments. Sorry, I'm supposed to add the criteria. Done. And enter. So 32. So even this should be able to give you a sense of so you can see. And I can add an if condition to say 0 because there might be 0. I will say if this guy, as this count equal done is equal to 0, then nothing else, just space, just to make sure that everything is looking neat and you don't have a lot of zeros where you don't need. So in the event I say this is 2, in the event I say I delete this, it will just be empty. So yeah. Also you can as well do a not started, right? You can say count if but not started. It's not going to show anything. I'll just put not started here. Or is not number. Yeah, say okay, not, yeah, so not started. Just come to, so it's going to tell you 6. So you already know. From here you can actually give an inference. So 32 clients has had at least gone through the quality lead identification process, while 6 is not started. Because everything here is having a number except the ones that are not started. So even if I say click on done, ongoing or anything, it's not going to do anything. Even if I click on done, as far as I've not come here, it's not still going to do anything. If I've come here and that's the quality lead identification, it will show not started. But if I come and actually there was no client, it will go back empty. So pretty interesting. So you have to be doing a lot of testing to see what works, and it's not a perfect model, but it's going to get the work done. And so now that I've done here, so might be wondering, how then do you do for, let's say I have this, I'm going to just duplicate, right? I don't know if I can copy. I can't copy multiple. Just create a copy. Let's say there are about six salesperson. Let me delete this because and okay, you also need to be sure that you are done with this formatting before you start creating multiple sheets. Is really important. I'll just do this. So I'll just create for 3 and you guys can do the rest, and just be curious enough to do the rest. It has created. I'll bring it here, and the rest is pretty simple. They are like a shortcut you can actually use. So now this is CAM1, CAM2, and you'll be wondering, do I have to write formulas for it again? Not really. I've written, so this is count A. Oh, I did not formularize this. I did not lock. I didn't make this absolute, the range absolute. So I think I should, just because I think I should. Now, because I don't want them to change. And let's say I have CAM1, for instance. Now I can just click this guy and drag. I literally can click everything and drag because it's the same thing across board. I have cam one, cam two, cam three. Now it's not going to give me anything reasonable, right? What I can now do is to highlight. So I'll do control tilde. The tilde, let me show you what tilde is. Um, tilde button, tilde key in keyboard. So your tilde key is this ampersand sign, the one that you find in your, so before your tab, please, it's really important. I really don't know what to call it. I learned unfortunately the keyboard short, they call it tilde just before your tab. So by the time you click on control tilde, it will expose to you all the formula that was used. So you can see all the formula was used. It will convert it to normal, like how you wrote it. So the next thing I can now do is to highlight this, right? It's up to here. Now I know that so I modeled this cam one from cam. So everything that is here, right? So what is just remaining is just the name. If you notice, so it's just the name that will change. Everything that is in cam one and cam two is also in cam. So what I'm just going to do is just to say Control H, that's find and replace, or you go to home, come to find and replace. Now what do I want to replace? I know I want to go to cam one, so I can say replace cam with cam one, and I'll replace all. Because I selected everything, that's from here, from um, B to I. It's going to only make changes for B to I. Now I'm going to do the same thing for cam2, which, oh, hey, yeah. I'm going to do the same thing for cam2. I'll say replace cam with cam2, replace all. Okay. I won't do for, let me do for cam3. That's, I'll go to the, create a copy. I'll just say cam3. And these are like the sales name, the salesperson's name. So come back here and do select a range of cells and Control H. So I want to change cam to what? Cam3, and do like a replace all. Now everything is done. Close. I will do Control tilde, and it still gives me the same thing. Now you might be wondering, what's now the difference? Now my total client alt equal to, now I can now have like a summary of everything. Now the thing now is, if I come here and say, I'll just delete, I'll delete no, let me just go back. I don't want to delete everything. I'm just going to just change this guy. Maybe come here and I will fill up this. I will delete some, just to make them different, right? This one too, I'll just delete some. Just need, what do I do here? Let's say I'll delete this. I'll just take only, just click and drag, still leave empty. Let me just, yeah, that everything should look different. Just delete this, bring this guy up to speed. Click and drag one, then drag, and just take one. It's not going to give me anything, not, it should show me not started. So Now I've just tried to, alter them so that you have different numbers. Oh, so this is 37. This is 37 too. This should be blank. Okay, this one should be, there shouldn't be any blank. Right. So despite the fact that we have 100 and, oh, that reminds me. Let's just say I'm going to remove, yeah, so it should be a little bit different. So I'll just remove some numbers. Maybe this person don't have more than near to here. Good. So we have 11 clients. So you can see now that it's not recording anything, so it's not going to give us any problem. So let me go to my bucket. So we have 110 different clients. So you can now see the variation in terms of number. So you can see for this particular sales team, 15 uniquely are in. So these are unique values in quality leads, and you won't find them any other place. They are just here. They just stop here. Their status is just quality lead identification. So now, if you want to do a check, the total engaged and not started, if you highlight, is 110. But I can just do alt equal to, and just, that's to give the shortcut for sum function. It's 110, and here is 110. So that's the way to checkmate and balance it out, that okay, what you are doing is not, you're on the right. The other thing I also want to add is I want to get the number of unique sectors and clusters as well. So because the clusters has like location, but I want to get like a unique, if it is others, what is others, if it is, again, I just want to get a unique perspective for some weird reason. I don't know. I just want to have like unique clusters just because I can, because I want to. I don't know why this thing is not showing me. Maybe it's not. Something is wrong. I'm trying to, and why. Maybe I'll just do X wrap that. So again, I just want to get like unique clusters. So how many clusters in how many? So we have like the cluster list of about 22. So if I do a count A, you would see of everything here is 22. So 22. So I want to know how many are uniquely targeted and why, what's happening to the rest. Again, is some way you can, and the sectors. So we have health sector, we have, let's say, sectors, well, if it is, we have maybe agriculture. So with the sectors, what's really happening in terms of those that are targeted, agriculture and like that. So, but so if you now have agriculture like 3, I want to um, I want you to give me like a unique count. Unfortunately, I tried using the unique, and well, it works, but the problem is if I want to do a unique of just this guy alone, it's just going to give me 2 values. And if I do a count of unique, but for field cell alone, it's only going to give me 2 values. But this unique also, yeah, so it's still going to be 2. But the problem now is if I now say to E41, or to, let's just say, to 12, it's going to give me 3. And that's because it's counting, it's counting, the unique is identifying 0 as as part of the series. So if I say to 12, it will put 0 because there's nothing there in 12, so it will just put 0. And I don't want it to put 0. I can say, so I don't want it to be all or null, but I don't want it to count 0 again because 0 is occupying space. So I'm looking for a way to remove this guy as, so if it is 0, don't count. But it's pretty difficult, but I will come up with, it's not difficult, maybe most likely my head is not there yet, but hopefully in the next series, in the next session, I would come up with it as a final solution. So we'll now add our unique sector and the cluster, the clients, the sales personnel, each of the salesperson are targeting. So we can now start probing. Again, it's a way to probe and get more data. Why aren't you focused on this place? Why are you focused on this place? Stuff like that. Cluster. So all of these are just numbers, right? It should give an idea. So one of the ideas, you can do a bar chart of, I'm just going to do CAM by this number. Okay, no, it's this guy. Then I'll use control and this. Go to insert. I can do a bar chart. Bar chart is usually a very good way to. Well, or okay, so I think the problem with this is, I'll add a secondary axis if I remember correctly. Let me do category reverse. Not gonna help me. But there's supposed to be a secondary axis, but I don't know. I think there's a secondary axis, or I can just I can right click and select data, and I'll just switch. The data is still the same field. Hey, so it's saying 1 2. What is 1 2? This is weird, and it's categorizing this guy as I think I'm supposed to, this is not it. Axis range. Trust me, this is not it. Okay. I think I'm going to remove horizontal axis. Yeah, so in fact, vertical axis is going to remove it. But it's not supposed to show me that, and it's showing me 1 and 2. Axis, I will just save this guy in my axis range. Show me, oh god. Let me edit. E2 to E5. So it's supposed to be calm and calm. I don't know why it is. This is weird. So that I just want is for each of the calm, it will give me like a bar chart of what is what. But this each, okay, this is correct, but I'm seeing PO received 31. In this weird. Anyways, this is just what is off the top of my head, and so you should be able to do like a bar chart and come up with numbers or some graphical representation. Doesn't have to be this, maybe something else. But we are going to stop here for now, and I would do some research, and it was supposed to be simple, but I have serious paranoia I want to make sure everything is perfect. So I can't understand why count of unique is giving me 3. Let's give this is 0. I think there's a way, but I'll come up with a way to count without 0. Is it count? No. I think in the count there is D count. What is D count? The count the cells containing numbers. No. D count A. Count non-blank cells in the field. I'm going to take a look at this. I believe that there's a solution to the problem without having to use math. I tried using math, it worked, but well, when I start testing it, because usually when you are building a template, you have to test it, to make sure that somebody don't break it before you even send it out for people to start using. If you are building a template, my experience is for you to do a lot of testing. By the time you are done with the testing, you would know if it is, if you will know the threshold in terms of integrity of the template, what threshold. Then by the time you deploy it, you have a lot of bugs. People will find loopholes because people are people and they'll find loopholes, which is pretty cool. And you cannot build a 101% interesting template. People will look for a way to break it, which is good because you are going to definitely learn from it. Anyways, thank you very much. If you do enjoy the video, it's a little bit long. It's unusual compared to my 10-minute videos I actually sessions I actually do. I have not thought. So the reason why I think is a little bit longer is this project is an ongoing project. I also try to make sure that I didn't expose any information that is key sensitive, and I decided, let me just share it with you guys so that you can see what we do on a day-to-day basis in real life. So as of this recording, today is 29th August 2014. If you do like the session so far, do like, subscribe, share with other interested people who know these tools, who are expert with tools but are looking for project to actually do. When you're done with this, you can actually mimic this and put it as part of your portfolio because you've mimicked because you've actually worked with it. You can put it as part of your portfolio. If you have any project, any questions, do comment in the comment section and I'll be there to respond to you. Have a wonderful day.